Morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the May 29th, 2025 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Here. Any conflict of interest statements? No. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of May 22nd, 2025.
Motion to approve those minutes.
I second them.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Bid openings, I don't see any. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Don't see anything. So moving on to correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval of Correctional Officer Tyler McKinney, who has completed the one-year probationary period, shall receive the promotional raise due to him effective December 31st, 2024. Officer Gabriel Gutierrez will no longer be performing the duties of a traffic officer and will relinquish his traffic specialty pay effective June 10th, 2025, and the approval of the resignation of Officer Anthony Munoz effective the close of business May 21st, 2025.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, correspondence received from Safety Services and Supply requesting to close and reroute traffic in order to work on the CXX railroad tracks on Sheffield Avenue starting on June 8th, 2025 for approximately 2 weeks, which will require the no truck signs to be covered during the closure on 165th Street.
Good morning to the board.
Good morning, Dean.
This is a track repair at the crossing, the level crossing. This detour we've seen a lot over the last several years with regard to the work that we did on Chicago, Sheffield, Goslin. So we're rerouting traffic in Illinois at Burnham to River Oaks Drive to 165th. That 65th is not a truck route, so we're asking them to cover those signs during that period, and we're asking for the closure. We've reviewed the detour plan. Everything looks up to speed, and we request your approval.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter C, correspondence received from the Controller's Office requesting the approval of the renewal of amusement device license for the Hammond Yacht Club and Blue Kangaroo.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, correspondence received from Pete Burns requesting approval for the Pat Mack Ride Parade through Hammond on June 20th, 2025, with attached route and the approval from the Hammond Police Department.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, correspondence received from True Word Evangelistic Outreach Ministries to block 817 through 840 Cherry Street on Saturday, June 14th, 2025, from noon until 6 p.m. for their annual Taste of the Grill Father's Day block party. They have signatures from every that good, yeah.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter F, correspondence received from Norfolk Southern Corporation requesting street closure of Willow Court and State Street near the intersection of the two roads and railway crossing to perform work. This will start on June 13th, 2025, approximately 7 a.m. and ending around midnight.
So NS has asked us to close Willow Court and State Street. They're replacing the diamond at IHB and NS. So they're requesting an 18-hour closure. Asked for your approval. I would also mention that I've received word from IHB yesterday that they are going to come forward with a petition to close their crossing at State Line at the same time. I don't see that to be a problem. The two businesses that are there, North Lake Auto and the other business that are there, will have to come in to their facility from Illinois. There's a route for them to take, and IHB has mentioned that, but that'll come before the board probably next week.
Gotcha.
Just wanted you to be aware that these closures will be close together, but they won't interfere with one another.
Okay.
So I'd ask for your approval of this particular action.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay up here.
Letter G, correspondence received from Felix Gonzalez, Director of Hammond Public Works, requesting residential parking only signs on 167th from Alabama West Alley on both sides of the street.
This came in to the mayor's office through the Go Hammond website. A lady at Alabama and 167th complained about parking in the area. There's an auto dealership at Kennedy and 167th Southeast Corner, and she's complaining about their business, the business to the north, and how they're using up parking on the street and how much difficult it is. So Felix and I sort of communicated back and forth. This is our recommendation to the board to post residential-only parking signs in that half a block between Alabama and the alley west of Alabama or east of Kennedy, to help control that. I'm looking at the counselor, right? Does residential parking only require notification to the,
It does, yeah.
Thanks.
I would require, because there's a schedule for that in the city ordinance book.
Thank you.
So I would either request it to be on a 90-day temporary, or if you're going to institute this based on the recommendation of the city engineer, which of course is totally proper, then I would go ahead and just give the 7-day. And Linda will make sure that the council members get notice, and away we go. And I would just request it gets added to the traffic schedule at the end of the year.
So the only question I have, half a block, so what number does that end at if we're doing half the block?
well, it's 167th between the alley that's east of Kennedy
Yes.
and Alabama.
Okay,
So I'm not sure, I mean, do you know what block that is?
That's,
27?
that's okay, that's good.
27,
enough.
2800
Yeah, 28,
block?
it's 2,800. That's
Okay,
good.
thank you. Sorry, I'm not
That's okay.
as
No.
familiar as I should be with,
No, that's okay.
with street block numbers.
Okay.
Motion to approve with notice being given.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 8, matters from board members.
No, sir.
Good. New business, number 9, letter A, declaration of emergency order to repair, demolish under IC code 36-7-9-9 for 5217 Holman Avenue.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
My issue will be on the repair issues that need to be done. The panels in the building are falling off. Gentlemen would like to go through some of these pictures before you come to the board?
Yeah, so just to set the record, Mr. Kearney, as the enforcement authority under the Unsafe Building Act, is considering taking emergency action under Section A of 36-7-9-9. He's in the middle of getting quotes for performing that work. If in fact he's going to proceed, he'll either proceed under Section A, or if he needs to request a hearing for the costs of that work, he will, of course, proceed under subsection D of that code, and will give proper notice as required under that section. I want to make sure that we do have, are you guys the owners?
Yes.
Great. Can we make sure that we put on the record the name of the entity, your name, the name of the entity that you are either a member or shareholder of, and a good contact address, so that we have a good address for everybody on the record?
Okay. Could you give us that information, sir?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Discovery Investments and Acquisitions.
What was it again?
Discovery Investments and Acquisitions.
And acquisitions.
LLC.
Okay.
Yes.
And your name, please?
First name Marius, Marius, and last name Bolchis, B as in boy, Olchis.
Okay.
First name M-A-R?
IUS.
U.S. Maris Bolchis. Okay, and then what about an address for the LLC that we can use for notice?
5217 Homan.
Do you want us to send it to that vacant building?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, and what is your association with the building?
I'm the LLC manager, and we own the building.
Okay. By we, the company owns the building?
Yes.
Okay. And do you wanted to know what we're doing with, what he plans to do with the building?
It's up to him, yeah. This is, really what Mr. Kearney is doing is just informing the board
Right.
that he may take an emergency action under that code. It's not a hearing today, right? We're just informing the board, but if Mr. Bolchis would like to talk to the board about the building, that's up to him. We're not asking the board to take any action today, because Mr. Kearney has the inherent ability and authority to take action under that code section if he needs to.
Okay, sir, I would like to know, though, what were your plans for the building?
So we have multiple plans. I used to own the building across the street, the bank building. And I used to own it like 4 or 5 years ago. I sold it to the group that's actually developed it. They finished developing the building. And originally we bought the building to develop it. The roadblock we had was that we were kind of locked in with no parking for this building. So all the development plans we had, we couldn't address it because the lack of parking, right? So the plans and drawings we had from architects was calling for apartments on top, and the best use for that building would have been apartments on top with a commercial down, which the city, they did not have an objection to that, right? But with no parking, the project is becoming unattainable, right? Because nobody wants to come in the middle of January from 3 blocks away to carry the groceries to their building. So now we are actively looking for a developer that wants to keep it as an office building, which will require no parking. And we are in advanced talks with a couple groups. They want to buy it from us. We only had interest to buy it to develop it again as an apartment building with a commercial, and we can do it.
Okay.
Our immediate concern is the panels that are flying off the building. With the high winds we had last week, several of the panels had came off. They're rather large and heavy and very dangerous. Sir, if you could take a look at those pictures, please,
Yeah.
so I can pass them to the board.
We saw the pictures. We came right after the storm. We saw the panels falling on the floor, and we cleaned up the whole floor. We saw the area was blocked with the barricades and the yellow tape. We cleaned up all around the building. We took the panels, and there were a couple other loose panels on the building, and we deployed the crew to secure it more, and we have to keep monitoring this problem because, yeah, obviously, like the city is saying.
Sir, I guess, like we said today, that Mr. Kearney has the duty to act under that IC code in an emergency order situation. So we did want to hear what your plans were, but we want to make sure we're very clear on the fact that we're going to move forward with the emergency order because we're going to follow what his recommendation is. So we want to make sure you're aware of that.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. I also
That's
want to
okay.
know for the board that this property is currently under an active demolition order, right? This has, the board has already issued and affirmed the order of demolition on another hearing date. And we're in the process of, I believe, getting ready to bid out the demolition of the property.
Okay.
I don't know if the owners have a copy of the environmental report, but it's extremely concerning, is the environmental report that was done on that property. If they need a copy, they should get a hold of Ms. Taylor upstairs in redevelopment, and I'm sure she can get them a copy of that environmental report. Because the environmental report is that the mold in that building is close to being really unable to be repaired. So.
Do you already have that report, sir? Or
We
would you
do.
like that report? You do?
Yes.
Okay.
But our annual, so city, they establish, it has mold. We brought our own experts, and they say that we can cure it. So I guess it's,
If there's a remediation plan, I mean, they just have to get it to Ms. Taylor to see if that's even doable. I mean,
Okay.
at the end of the day, right, we don't want, I mean, as much as this building is you know, from the exterior, it looks like a nice building downtown, without the panels falling, of course. You know, we can't have a building with environmental conditions and just sitting vacant for years and years.
Okay.
we netted the building in that shape. And when we took over, it had a major roof problems with created like water damage, and they created the mold. So we first thing first, we covered the roof just so we're not gonna have more water damage. And in regards to the panels, we understand it's a safety issue, and we're addressing just to make sure nobody's going to get hurt or anything like that.
How
So,
available have you been? I mean, is this a situation where, you know, there's been conversation back and forth, or he's not been available?
It was complicated to get a phone number and email address to make contact, but we have been sending out the demolition orders
Okay.
to every address we have available.
Okay.
There's been no contact until today.
Okay.
I completely disagree with what he just said. I've been in the city probably like 50 times.
Okay,
Okay, so like Miss Ann Taylor has our phone number, he has our information. We have multiple emails between the city and us. Okay?
I
So-
don't dispute that at all. If he's been talking with Ann Taylor, and it's not to my knowledge.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that, as long as they're progressing.
so what I think's important, sir, is
Yes.
we're going to act on the emergency order today. I think that you need to be in contact with the people that you need to be talking to, and you need to do that more frequently. So if that's Ann or Kelly or both, you need to make sure that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Miss Ann Taylor.
I
It's
understand,
like,
I understand.
Juan Moreno has it, there are multiple people, they know our information.
Okay,
If I may ask, what is the plan for the panels? As I'm asking the board to understand my declaration of an emergency, are you going to be getting a contractor out there, getting some estimates and getting the panels
Yeah,
out?
that's
Actually,
exactly
That's
what-
what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we have
we're
someone that
bringing-
knows how to basically take up anything that's unsecured and then leave whatever's secured.
Okay, whoever's going to do that, they're going to need to be licensed with us, okay?
Sure.
It's just a simple step, we can get that done, no problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But, and I don't have a card with me, I'm sorry, but I'll get you a card, we can make contact. I'll get your email from Ann, however we need to do it.
Thank you.
and Progress, but this needs to be done, it needs to be done quickly. I'm still going to be asking for quotes from different contractors, so we can have comparison, and obviously, your building, your responsibility, I'd much rather have you be in control of it than me having to bring a contractor
I
out.
had a question as far as panels, are you saying, because most of them are all secure, maybe there's like one loose one.
I think that's something that they
That's
can
what
meet after
we're
the
trying
meeting.
to
That's what I'm
right?
thinking
So as far
too,
as
yeah.
addressing to the board, I think what we'd like to do, the city's request would be to reset this for next week, next Thursday for a status.
Okay.
So the board can get informed as to what the owners and Mr. Kearney have discussed and to see if there's any progress. Because if Mr. Kearney feels that they need to come down before next Thursday, he has the ability to do that. Obviously, we'd like the owners, it sounds like they're working on it as well. So hopefully they can figure out a plan and get this moving early next week at the latest. And that way, next Thursday, when everybody comes back to report to the board, that we can report that this has been resolved.
And I just want to make note of, this happened also in 2015, where panels were being blown off. Hassey Construction secured some of the panels in 2017. Now, here, again, we're dealing with a situation, so it's something that's going to be addressed very quickly. There's more than one panel. The problem is that some panels are loose, wind's getting in behind them and just taking them off. So my suggestion would be, when you're asking a contractor, it'd be to take all the panels off.
But they can have that discussion and figure it out.
yeah, the discussion should happen privately, but the one thing is, for a fact, is it's an emergency situation, so this is not something you can put off.
Yep.
It's got to be done immediately, and I just think you guys understand that, so.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be in contact.
Yeah,
And there's no action needed on this.
We're just standing.
Set it for status, yeah.
After the meeting's done in my office, I'll give you my card.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, gentlemen.
thanks, guys.
Letter B, agreement to purchase real estate for property located at 5529 Soul, submitted for approval. 55. Okay. We're on 5529 Soul. Kevin?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
I was
No, I understand.
catching up.
I'm sorry.
Yes, this is a property also that is being offered, I think, to the neighbor. Yep, and we would request its approval. It's an adjacent property owner, and it's going to be a side yard for the neighbor next door.
Got it, okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, fire safety plan received from ATL Special FX for the Brantley Gilbert concert for Festival of the Lakes on July 17th, 2025, submitted for approval.
Yes, the Thursday evening concert, Brantley Gilbert for Festival of the Lakes, has some special effects that require approval by the board. I believe the fire department's looked at it. You should have a letter from FD on there and request its approval as presented.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Letter D, mobile food vendor application, Haven's Blessing, Erwin Cervantes. Hi, sir. Could you give us your name, please?
Erwin Cervantes Cruz.
Okay, and could you tell us what kind of business that is exactly?
It's gonna be a mobile ice cream vendor.
Okay, and in a cart or a vehicle?
It's in the vehicle.
In a vehicle, what kind of vehicle?
It's gonna be a truck.
A truck. And what will your hours of operation be?
From 2 to 8 every day, weather permitting.
2 PM to 8 PM?
Yes, sir.
Constantly moving, or are you gonna park at certain places?
Gonna be constantly moving throughout the city.
The entire city, or do you have a certain section of the city you're gonna be in?
Preferably like South Hammond, mid section Hammond.
South Hammond? Do you have all the necessary license?
Yes, sir.
What license do you have?
I have the permit from Lake County and I'm waiting on the permit for the Hammond of City.
The
city of
business
Hammond.
license from Hammond City?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions from the city?
I just had a question. I know that there are certain hours for mobile food vendors, and I'm not sure if they go till 8 o'clock, so that's kind of what I'm checking. I could have sworn it was 7.
That's what I was
That's
gonna
what,
say.
uh,
Yeah, I think it stops at 7
Okay.
too.
So, sir, do you understand that you'd have to comply with the ordinance and that it's between 10, there's nothing between, wait a minute. I think actually it used to be 7 and we switched it.
You switched it.
Yeah, so it's 10 PM to 7, so he's good if he wants to go to
Okay.
8, if the board approves that.
As long as he has the license and he's gonna, it's important that you continually move the vehicle. The vehicle's moving when
Yes,
you're
sir.
not making a sale?
Yep.
Okay. Can't be on private property, can't be near intersections, stopped, stuff, all that stuff, okay.
If you do stop, you just can't stop and sell within in a residential area.
Yep.
There are certain areas, it's in the ordinance, you should review that. There are areas you can stop on a commercial street and sell as long as you're within a certain distance from intersections like the President said and not close to other brick and mortar places that sell ice cream. So you can't like park outside the
Dairy Bell.
area on Conkey and sell ice cream. That makes sense.
Okay, good, yep, okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good luck, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Letter E, request for rental registration hearing and late business license hearing submitted for approval.
Okay, motion to set that date for June 12th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter F, garage sale permit submitted for approval. It's gonna be, there's gonna be a lot from Micro Bucker, I think. No, there's 3 people that are. You want, no, we're.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter G, right-of-way permits received from engineering submitted for approval.
Good morning, Board.
Morning, Mark.
We have several, approximately 3 from Comcast, 3 from NIPSCO, and 2 from AT&T or thereabouts. Nothing major, NIPSCO, just residential gas main repair. So I would recommend approval.
All righty.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Motion to approve.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter H, resolution authorizing the city of Hammond by and through its Board of Public Works and Safety to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission and the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority regarding engineering and design services at Optimus Lake.
Good morning to the board. So there's a project that we hope at some point in the future gets accomplished. It's going to be a great project outside Optimus Lake near the Kennedy Avenue exchange off of 8094. This is just the engineering design agreement. It's been basically a situation where the Little Cal is going to take the majority of the cost of it, of the design. The Legacy Foundation through a grant is going to take a portion of it, and then SSCVA and the city is going to take a smaller portion of those design costs. This sets forth that information. It has been approved or recommended that I request its approval to the board from the mayor's office. So we do have that. We just met on this yesterday. So.
Okay.
And I know that I spoke with Nicole Bennett, who's the attorney for Little Cal, one of the attorneys for Little Cal, and she is working on making sure we get the copy of the document signed by Mr. Repay, but it has been approved at their, I think at a meeting some time ago, maybe in April, I think she said. We do have the signature page for SSCDA, so I'd request that the board approve the resolution as presented and conditioned upon receiving the signature page from Little Cal.
Okay. Motion to approve, as long as we receive the signatures.
I second.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter I, resolution into intergovernment agreement with Hammond Redevelopment Commission to transfer property located at 600 177th Street and 626 177th Street.
Yes, these are properties along River Drive and the highway near Calumet Avenue. It will allow redevelopment department to go ahead and put these out for RFP for further development along the highway.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Moving on to number 10, old business, letter A, downtown Hammond Cruise Nights, closure of Fayette Street from Oakley to Hammond.
I requested this be reset for today just
Hammond?
based upon the dates and the extensive dates that she was requesting. I think, oh, hi.
Hi.
Here she is.
Hi.
Great. I thought PD was going to meet or try to meet with her to discuss that. We also had a discussion about all the way to Homan on
Yeah,
Fayette, right?
it's Homan,
It's
instead of
Holman,
Hammond.
not Hammond.
Yeah.
Because the question was, from, I think it was from Oakley to Homan, and that my concern was that from the parking lot of the bank building to Homan might be an issue, so we invited this young lady here to discuss this with us.
Okay, could you give us your name, please?
Aubrey Zelenka.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about what he's talking about?
Yes, so the street, we did this last year, and it worked out good. And I know this year it's a little different because of the tenants from the bank building have that parking lot now, which we never blocked their lot. And so I feel that for the safety of everybody on the street during this event, the whole street needs to be blocked off because people tend to, especially when trains are stopped, they tend to turn that corner and gun it, and there's nowhere there for them to turn around. So we did come up with a resolution. We have employees at each end of the street. The entrance for the car participants is at one end of the street on Oakley, and they can exit down Homan or on Oakley. We have barricades that are movable right now, and there will be somebody guarding that end. So we have, last year when we had construction crews come through or classes at the HDC, we had no problem guiding them down the street, letting them through to get where they needed to go. So this will be the same instance. If there's tenants for the bank building, we'll send out a notice this week, letting them know the street will be barricaded, but they can still access their lot, no problem, and give them a map with all the access points, and somebody will be there to let them through, move the gate, let them in, and they have no problem getting into their parking lot.
Yeah, I just think it's always nice to have the, approval of the manager of, any building that's impacted in advance, because then we can see, the board can see, oh, okay, they're good with this, right? We're just going with, they're going to give them notice, which, I mean, trust me, I'm happy about the cruise night. This is great, right? I just want to make sure we're not impacting the ability for our new residents of getting in and out of their building, if they have any activity going on, if there's moving going on that day, I just don't know. And so I just want to make sure that Ms. Zelenka and the management of the bank building are working together on this.
Yes, I did speak with the developers of the property, and they did say they were concerned about the whole street being shut down, but I believe it's also because they've never really been on a cruise night there. They're not really sure how the traffic works there, and the safety of everybody involved. So I did speak with police officers that patrol that area, that deal with the traffic there. I did speak with our councilman and the flow of traffic, and they suggested that we shut the whole street down. They think that is the best way to go, as long as we have someone there to accommodate and we inform everybody. And so that's where we were.
When's the first one?
The second.
It is next Monday, the June 2nd.
Yeah, there's several dates. Can I ask, who did you speak from the bank building? You said developers.
Anastasia. From,
Okay, I know
yes.
her, okay. And which police officers did you speak to?
A lot of them.
Just somebody driving around, I mean? Or
No,
did you talk to
we have a
Lieutenant
coffee
Sparks
shop
possibly?
downtown, and we have all the officers in every morning.
Okay.
So I see probably about 20 of them a day who are in the local area and asking them their opinion on the traffic flow there, et cetera.
Anastasia is the boss for sure.
Yeah, I would just,
So,
if the board wants to conditionally approve this, I just would like some contact from PD with the bank building.
I can.
Okay,
have
just to
that.
confirm that this plan is going to work, and maybe have an officer in that area that day, because I just want to make sure we're not inundated here with a bunch of resident complaints because they didn't get informed, and that could be on the bank building, right? But I just want to make sure there's good communication on this, because we want this to be a success.
Absolutely.
And we want, I'm happy that Ms. Lenka's doing this, right? This is great for downtown. We just want to make sure that our new downtown residents are also informed and that there's no problem.
Well, you mentioned the one thing, people moving in, we have to make sure that
Yeah.
happens. And so I have Anastasia, when today's meeting's over, I'll call and make sure. So we're going to approve it conditional upon her agreeing
Okay.
that it's okay.
Okay.
And if there's any problems along the way, we
Yes.
might have to call you back in. and-
Absolutely.
Okay, just
Yeah.
keep that in mind,
Okay.
okay?
And are those, I know you sent like a ton of dates. Are those all going to happen, or is it just like?
Yes, it's every
Potentially.
single Monday. We keep a consistent schedule so everyone knows when they can make it. And it's 5 to 9 p.m. We shut down the street about 4 o'clock just to get the traffic flow and get everybody set up. And it's 5 to 9, and at 9 o'clock sharp, the barricades open and the traffic flows again. And we have, like I said, we keep employees on the street at each location where there's entrances to this street, that where they can inform people how they can get around. We work with everybody down there. Like I said, I always know the classes that are going on at the HDC, and we discussed with them, and they said they had no problem with it, because we either let them through or they're gonna inform them to park on Homan.
Okay. Do we have your contact information?
I
And if-
believe you should. Yes, I left it with all the.
Is it possible to stay after the
Absolutely.
meeting and I'll get you, so I want to be able to call you after I
Yes,
talk to
absolutely.
Anastasia? Okay.
Yeah, obviously the other issue is just the, between Russell and Fayette, there's that parking lot. So like Oakley comes further to the east. I want to make sure there aren't like anybody coming through the alley or the, or the other part, or the parking lot too.
We block
And
those off.
And it's
We-
rush hour, right? It's 5
Yeah,
o'clock.
we know. We dealt with it last year.
So-
It was very frustrating. We had a lot of people blast through our barricades, but that's why this year we took extra precautions. We hired extra people, and we got better barricades and signage. But we do have somebody standing there, and we put caution tape up. We make sure there's signs redirecting traffic, and we try to talk with as many of the local businesses and workers and people, and we've definitely reached farther this year than we have last year. Because our last one, we did have over 200 people on a Monday night there, so. And it all goes smoothly, no cops were ever called, ever traffic, it flowed lovely, so.
Yeah, I would just ask traffic to really be involved in this the first couple times, just so we can keep an eye on it. Yeah.
They did advise that, the last officer I spoke with advised that I maybe make a note on the 311 app that we will be doing these events, and even though they are advised through the police station when these events are approved, that maybe I make a note of that, so that way there's some extra patrols in the area to keep an eye on things.
I think we're just worried about traffic especially, because I mean, it's getting busy down there with the new traffic configuration on Homan, which also didn't exist last year, right? It was still under construction, or closed, I think, which made this very simple, because there really wasn't much traffic on Homan because it was under construction. So I just want to make sure that PD's aware of it, traffic's aware of it, patrol or whatever, traffic, I guess, and that hopefully it's a great success. And I just want to make sure that we're good with both the people that are coming here for cruise night, as well as those that are living down there and that are, working down there and trying to get home at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, when do you plan to put the signage out for the first one, June 2nd?
So we put it out right before the event. Just, it's so when people are driving, they can see where everything is, where the locations are, where it's blocked off, things like that.
Right before the event, like that afternoon?
That day, every day, we put the signage out every single day beforehand, and we take it down right after the event.
Okay.
Like, it might be, not- like, I know that, like, for example, thinking of Whiting, they have like the digital sign,
Signboards.
cruise night tonight, 5 to 9, Fayette Street closed or something like that. Maybe PD
I
could
would
help
love
with that.
I would love that.
Well, our signboard's not working right now. It's probably-
No,
Wait,
Port Authority's
it
got one
it
too,
got
I
hit by a
think. I know it did
car.
last, I recall that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we would do even better signage if we had more sponsorships. So we do what we can with what we have.
We'll try to work on helping
Okay.
you with that, but in the meantime, can you put the signage out maybe prior to it instead of the day of? Friday, maybe tomorrow?
Sure, I would love to,
I mean,
if
I
that's
think just-
okay.
well,
Well, we should be picking up signage soon, so.
Not
hopefully,
barricades, but signage.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
that's okay.
Port Authority's got a digital too. Maybe PD could borrow that, or
I'll
see if
call
they'll,
Jeff
yeah,
and see.
because that wouldn't be bad to have on Homan, or maybe, right at Homan and Fayette. Fayette closed Monday 5 to 9 cruise night or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll get your number after the meeting. Lieutenant Sparks or Sergeant George will be the ones you'll be in contact with, but I'll make sure you're aware of that when we're
Great,
done,
great.
okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay, good luck with it. I hope you do well.
Motion to conditionally approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter B, status speed bump request for 800 block of Wilcox.
This came through several weeks ago. A resident complained to the law department about speeding on Wilcox, 800 block, so we asked PD to measure the speed. Most people were driving well below the speed limit. 25 miles an hour was the 85th percentile speed. There was an occasional speeder. That doesn't necessarily warrant to putting in any sort of countermeasures at this stage, so I would ask that we just refer to law enforcement for enforcement.
And that's already been done already. We put that out, that warning out, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion to refer to PD.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter C, resident safety concerns for Burton Court.
So this also came to the law department. Resident in the area at Maiden Lane and Burton Court complained of numerous things. The message first starts out talking about accessible parking space for the neighbor, but then goes on to say the neighbor should request that, so there is no accessible parking space requested. There's a stop sign that was installed or changed improperly, not facing the alley. As you approach Burton Court, it was turned around, so it was facing Burton Court, so Public Works has corrected that action immediately. There's complaints in there about oversized vehicles parking in the street and safety vehicles not being able to arrive at the location. Those would be referred to law enforcement, right? If there's any sort of parking violations that are happening there, I would ask that that be referred to law enforcement. Then believe there's a brief discussion about fires attendance to a potential fire that happened. Well, there was a fire that happened, I would say, close to 7 years ago in that neighborhood, and that the vehicle, the truck from Station 2 didn't access or couldn't access. It was what was declared in the letter. I spoke with the former fire chief about this matter. He indicated that the engine approached from the wrong direction, right? And so they were instructed to come off of 119th Street, down Maiden Lane to that location. So I believe everything that was pointed out has been addressed, other than referring to police, the enforcement of, illegal parking.
The only thing I would add to that, and that's a very good summary by Dean, thanks
Thank you.
Dean, is question of whether or not there needs to be yellow no parking on the curve.
Painted
Painted
curbs.
or not, but that, I would leave that up to engineering and/or PD once it has a chance to go there to see if the cars are blocking the easy flow of traffic. I don't think we have to worry about the fire engine issue. That's been resolved with FD and engineering.
This is my neighborhood, right? I live just up the street from this location, and it's never been a problem, right? This is the first I've heard of it. So I would not suggest painting the curbs yellow at this time.
Okay, this is Captain Strabavi's area,
Yeah.
so I'll make sure he looks into all the other stuff.
Let him know that everything, I would just let him know pretty much everything, like Dean mentioned, everything's been resolved except just checking to make sure there's not illegal parking going on.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, we'll take care of it.
Thank you.
So we don't need to take any action today, right?
No, I don't think so.
Other than
Just got a summary,
motion
unless
to.
it wants to set it for status, but I think.
No, I don't, I was just motion to refer to PD, but it's up to you to decide.
Motion to refer to PD.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, number 11, late renter registration hearings. Letter A, 6219 Jackson. Good morning. Could you give us your name and your association with the property?
Her name is Myrna. She's the owner.
What's her name again?
Myrna.
Myrna, okay.
My name is Jasmine. I'm her daughter.
Okay,
I'm just here to help with the language barrier.
gotcha.
So she became owner of this property in April of last year. And at the time, I called the phone number that you guys list on your rental registrations, and we were told that there was already a payment made for that year in 2024, therefore there didn't need to be a new one paid for that $5 rental registration fee. And this year, in 2025, she, as the new owner, it was her responsibility to pay it, but we missed the date by 2 weeks. I tried to call, but unfortunately, I was told that it was too late and therefore had to speak to the board to have it appealed.
Okay, okay.
Property owner has owned the property since April of 2024. The previous owner was sent to Smith-Cersic for the previous years, but for the year of '24, we do not have a valid rental registration for that property. It was never registered by the previous owner. So whatever miscommunication was had, as long as we can rectify it after today's meeting for the year of 2024 and 2025, so your property record is up to date.
Yeah, it was sent in. We have a copy of the money order that we mailed and when we mailed it, because it was a property name change. It wasn't like she purchased the property. So it was a family member that we changed the property name from. So we have proof that we sent the money order, the date when it was sent. She has a receipt that was given to us here 2 weeks ago that in 2024 it wasn't paid for more than about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe it was just not cashed at the right time or, but we have proof that everything was sent and when it was sent.
So, we don't, we're good with that.
Okay.
As long as you understand you'll be paying the $5 for 24 and 25, and you're aware of the dates going forward. It
Yeah,
has
of
to be
course.
paid by April 15th
Of
of every
course.
year, so you
Yeah.
know that already?
Yes.
Okay, then we're good. Just make sure that it's clear to your mom, obviously, that you can't be late again.
Of course.
Okay, got it.
Is that something that we'll just be able to take care of downstairs today?
If you wait for the meeting, when the meeting's over, you'll get a copy of this, and you can take it downstairs and pay the $10.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Moving on to letter B, 2141 Atchison. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Board.
Could you give us your name and your association with the property?
My name is Justin Steiner. I'm the agent for JTS LLC, owner of the property.
Okay, could you tell us what happened in 25?
This year, I just didn't realize the payment was due until it was past due, and I'm just here to ask the Board for leniency regarding the late fee.
Do you recall if you've been late before?
I recall never being late before.
Never being late. Okay, go ahead, Jordan.
Property owners own the property since March 31st of 2017, has not previously missed any rental registrations. We are here solely for the year of 2025. There is no other issues. This is a 5-unit building which would fall under the RUC and only be required to have a $5 charge for the entire building.
I'm glad you reminded me of that. Thank you.
One time is all I need.
So I don't write 25 and then exit out? and
No,
all that?
I-
Yeah, okay, got it.
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sir, if you'd like to stay, you can also take it downstairs and pay the $5 if you'd like.
After the meeting.
After
We'll
the
get
meeting's
to the
over
phone.
with.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank
Okay.
you, Board.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, letter C, 7515 Walnut. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you give us your name and your association with the property?
Yeah, my name is Kevin Liu, and I'm the owner.
Okay, can you tell us what happened in 25?
Yeah, so I was out of state doing my master's, and my mom, Wendy, she's a landlord here in Hammond. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with her. She handled all the rental registrations for our properties, so she'll be able to speak more on that.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Okay, so basically, I personally own the 74 units in Hammond and the total 34 building. I register every year, and this is the registration for all the units. I pay the $530, and for the 34 building, and I pay the $530 here. And we put all the things are listed 1, 2, 3, 4, all my property here.
Okay.
And every time we pay the rental adjustment, we just 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure we property number we not missing. I don't know why we missed this house last year. Actually, year 2024. And this year we registered. This is our first time. I missed it. And I go to my office, and I do find that we have a piece of paper registration, but somehow I don't know why it's not registered. I register everyone, but just this one. And there is another one also has a problem. We talk about it. Just miss this one for Kevin, you know. I'm sorry, and this is the first time for me for his house. We misregistered, you know.
Okay.
And yeah, and this is the receipt. If you like to take a look, and the 5:30 we paid.
We're good, we're good,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you, thank
We're
you.
good.
Kevin is on the property since 7/24 of 2014, has not missed the previous rental registration. We're here solely for 2025. There is a homestead tax deduction that is being claimed on the property, as well as a board-up invoice that has not been paid from 2022.
Were you aware of that?
We pay the property tax every year on
Not
time.
property tax, a board up. Was there a time when it was boarded up for some reason?
The date of the board-up was 10/21/22.
I can pay today, no problem, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and
And
do you
then-
understand you have to remove the homestead exemption that's on the house?
Yeah, yeah, okay, I
Okay.
will, okay,
Right here is the homestead tax deduction for that property.
okay, okay.
And then, so
Yeah.
Kevin,
Fill in the
fill
exemption
out the
paper.
highlighted areas since it's in your
Me
name.
too.
Okay,
And then get this back to me before we do the rental registration after the meeting.
I can fill it out right now.
Yeah, he can fill now, okay, thank you
Okay.
very much.
Motion to waive the late fee contingent upon the removal of the homestead and the payment of the invoice for the board.
Yeah, thank you, we will fill the form
I
after
second.
that. Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Letter D, 6237 through 41 Holman Avenue. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you give us your name and your association with the property?
Sure, Royal Shorts, I'm the owner of the property.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened in 25?
It was an oversight on my part, my apologies. Between family emergency and being out of town, unexpected things come. Next thing you know, I realized it was April the 30th, and I came in on that day, so it was too late.
Gotcha.
Property owners own the property since March 24th of 2022, has not missed a previous rental registration. We are here for 2025's rental registration of a 7-unit RUC, which would also fall under the $5 charge for the entire building. This property is also claiming a homestead, and it also has a board-up invoice that has not been paid.
Do you understand that, sir? There's a board-up fee that you have to pay,
Okay, I'll pay that.
and that you also have to have it removed from the exemption, homestead exemption.
Okay.
Did you know you had one still on the residence?
You know what? Me and my wife was going through some things, but I'm going to be moving back with her.
Okay.
So should I do that when I do that? Because currently I'm
Jordan, the
So-
homestead exemption you have to do right away, correct?
So the homestead exemption needs to be done right away so that I can forward it to the Lake County office that I supply the homesteads for. Would you be occupying the 1027 Drackard Street from then on?
Well, we working some things.
Your work, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so as long as we can get the homestead and the board-up invoice taken care of, that is all we need to be taken care of before we have the rental registration.
Okay.
Okay.
So, sir, we're gonna waive the late fee contingent on you making good with the board-up bill and also removing the homestead exemption.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Motion to approve contingent upon those things.
All right.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks for being here today, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, number 12, the meeting's now open to the public. Anybody have anything they want to say?
Anything, anything nested?
Chief?
Chief?
Okay,
Nothing nested to discover, huh?
nothing, no.
Oh,
Nope.
Nothing, no.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everyone.